want to pursue career in HR. So I was saying number one is I would just tell them, just do your homework. I was in a conversation and I think it's a student was asking something very interesting, was asking, can I do HR? My mom wants me to do, I don't know, it was strategic management or something, and was actually posing the question to us, should I listen to my mom or should I do my, my HR? But the bottom line is, it's you who's gonna deal with your career. Career is it's sort of very personal because it's your life, it's your story, it's the way you will serve yourself and people and the world ideally. So it's about you at the bottom line. So doing your homework is primary. So we don't have you don't have to experience things we see where people get halfway and you realize very late in the day that this wasn't just for me. Now, what do you need to do to do your homework? Is number one, you can read. There's a lot of information online, by the way. I know most people don't like reading. They just like being told, but just have a culture of having some checks. Just
African
go around.
don't like reading. Don't.
There's a lot of people advising actually career people coming in HR. You'll be amazed. You have your questions very fast answered there. Just do your homework. Number one, if you just haven't found those questions, get someone to talk to about what your interests are or your aspiration are, and validate what you feel, or see whether it's exactly what you think, or is it not the same. And this will guide you to make a very bold step when you're going into it. It's not just by the in HR, it's in any other career, because you don't want also to take engineering, then you realize, this story of being on the rails and the skyscrapers is not my thing, and you're already deep in it and it's late in the day. So it's good to do your homework very well. Getting mentors is also something that I would say has helped. I've seen it help a lot of people. It's something I learned very late also in the day, that it helps a lot. It even helps you to move faster when you have someone guiding you, and probably they've been there, so you don't have to reinvent your own wheel, but they just tell you even where to step and not to step. So it helps a lot to get a mentor, talk to someone, see someone who you feel can help you move faster, or can give you some wealth of information or knowledge that you don't have to do again. Then third one, and this is very important, just get ready to do the work. There is no shortcut. There's no shortcut. You just have to do your work.
Yeah.
And I would think, and I've seen this a lot with a lot of some people, I'm sorry to say, especially some crop of some age in people in HR. They'll just want you to give them the answer, or they just want you to tell them what to do, but that's not the world is, not even in the space of HR. So everybody, every leader wants to work with someone who places a solution on the table. And solution is not going to come with what the leaders know. You've got to do your work and get the solutions on the table. So just get ready, have the attitude of just finding the solutions and do your work very well. So there is work in HR, because ideally, by the way, you're dealing with people. What do work on a kazi, but it's exciting, because that's the most exciting part of just dealing with people. That's what I would advise those who are coming up in this space. But it's exciting. It's one dynamic, exciting space to be. They also say it's a good place to get paid very well. I believe so.
Well, I know most Kenyans will be motivated by that last point of
and I will still tell them money. They say psychology say money is not a motivation. I mean, that's a discourse for another day.
Well, yeah, I think we can keep on discussing that last point, because I think that's one of the biggest motivation for us as employees. But probably at the end of the day, we need to look at something we love, not just something that is paying well. Because at the end of the day, you can get paid well, but you're not happy. You are very agitated by people, because sometimes people can be very annoying. You can imagine trying to manage someone like me, I mean, there's nothing you can tell me to do which I don't want to do. So
That's
something
true.
very hard.
That's very true. That's very
Yeah,
true. You know, it reminds me of the discussion we had today in the in a learning session we had in a forum we were running yesterday and today. And the question was, of course, it's one role of the manager, by the way, to motivate your team, right?
yeah,
You know, that's very interesting. You're expected to motivate them all the time to be able to deliver.
yeah.
It's a very big and very important driver of performance. Like you're told in performance management, productivity is ability and motivation. Now, there's this question, of course, in the room that we say, and it's very critical. Why do people show up to work? Why do people come to work? And I got very interesting answers today. And top of it, you know, from years, you know, we hear people come to work because to earn a livelihood. But now the narrative is changing because of the nature of people coming to the workplace. And we've suddenly discovered it's no longer about livelihoods. People are coming to work because of very different and interesting things, you know. And I think the millennials are teaching us a different curve altogether. It's going to be a big opportunity for learning, not to say a challenge for human resource to manage these people. Because now the question why we come to work is going to be changing. And that is what motivation, we were talking about motivation as, you know, money being part of motivation. And one of the things I've found in principle is there are, of course, in what we call direct motives for working as well as indirect motives for working. And from my experience and knowledge, is all indirect, all direct motives drive performance. Because if, for example, I don't know why you do this, by the way, Peter, why do you do this? I would guess probably you find it easy. It's an easy busy for you because maybe it's like you're playing a game. Let me just say, it's a play. It makes fun, and I know it's just like some things I do. People say they're impactful, but for me it was like we had a nice conversation, you know. Yeah. And that is because it's driven. It's some side of a motive or motivation behind doing that. But in the sense that it's still giving you a living, you never notice. I know that popular quote we say, if you know I don't know what, you never go to work. But it's like you discover your purpose and the thing you're good at, you never go to work any day because you're always in your moment. You're always in the moment. The only thing you do is you deliver better in your moment. And that is also a motive. Just giving an example of direct motive or direct motivation. Now, those people are not hard in the workplace to manage because they're already intrinsically motivated. If you're a driver and that's your role in the work and you just like driving, these people, you never have a problem with them. They love they'll be asking you, when are you going to Mombasa? You know, because they love it, you know. But when you have people who have indirect motives, and these are the people who work because of, number one, like emotional pressure or economic pressure. But now I have to pay the rent. Fees mtoto inanileta kazi, you know, those things. One day you might just be working for your financial freedom. So what will happen if this person suddenly, their kids' education policy matures? You have a problem because now they are the people who are dealing with them because they are showing up late because the motivation is no longer there. So that is where managers are beginning to have the biggest problem because you have to motivate these people and it's hard to motivate them because they no longer have the connection. And the thing is, their motivation for work was not connected to them, neither to the work. It was external thing. And that's a thing, and that's a discourse about money. Just give an example. Economic pressure is, money is part of economic pressure. And we can have this discussion until the cows come home anyway.
Yeah, and I think most of us are there. But things are changing, and as COVID has taught us, you know, we need to start working because of things like vision. And I think that's what happens in the startup ecosystem, whereby you find different millennials are choosing different companies, not because of money, but because of a cause they believe in, a cause they are passionate about. Probably a startup in the climate change, a startup in biotechnology, you know, and so on and so forth. So I know you are very ambitious, and from our conversations that you've had, from the webinars that I've seen, I always see the passion you have. And I would be interested, what are your goals in the future? I mean, what do you want? What's the next big thing that we would be seeing from you?
The next big thing.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there is the most interesting thing. My space is driven by the trend. So you'll be seeing a lot of shifting from. Of course, you've seen that because you found me online as well. So that's a change we're going to sustain. But it's moving from, moment kind of learning to sustainable learning for organization. But let me just give you my biggest goal as a person in this space is it's going to cover a lot of things, I know, but it is to leave a story that is going to inspire someone, not just only in human resource or people in the space of learning and development, but just generally people to want to join the story and do something for themselves and for the people they work for. And I believe that's why, and that's what it just inspires me every day to do what I do. I don't know whether you know what I do, but my role where I am is to make sure we are scanning for the challenges and gaps the market is experiencing or is having, and that is organizations and people. And we elicit the interest to meet that gap, and we engage in designing the solution that will help those people navigate that gap and meet the desired outcomes, or they are able to meet the results they want at the space they want. And that's quite a whole journey of many things. But my own goal is to be able to inspire through just doing that, inspire some space of people who will just want to make change as well in their spaces.
Amazing, amazing. We are dealing with technology, and definitely, it will be there to remind us some of the goals that you've just told us. So we wish you the best in, in your journey as you prepare to achieve them. Finally,
yes.
One of the things I would like to ask you is, what do you think, what would you recommend to improve human resources in Kenya? Probably, I know SMEs, particularly startups, have a very big challenge when it comes to the issue of, HR. And we never take the HR very seriously, for most SMEs. So what is something that you can tell us, something you can tell startups, something you can tell SMEs, something you can tell the whole ecosystem in the country or in Africa?
I would start by saying, having been in HR or worked with HR, because HRs are my number one partners in what I do, is, we need to also put ourselves in the picture. I would say, love yourself a bit. I've had and experienced people, you're the one who sorts people out. And most cases, these people get forgotten in, because ideally there's no one who is going to sort you. Because the CEO is not going to be setting you for the training, because watuma trading, you're the one left there. So consider a bit of reconsidering your space in terms of your self-care or your love, or being considered for the things you consider people. And that is in the love of the things they do for the organization. And you're the one running up and down when things are happening. You're running up and down. There's talent attraction in the organization. When people are retiring, you're the one preparing them and for what you always doing stuff for people. So we tend to be forgotten a bit about that. So we need to be conscious and intentional about how we're going to sort that. And the other number two thing is, let's begin to be very intentional and particular. And I would say embrace something I call KENI. And my KENI is continuously and never ending improvement for ourselves. Because we've just spoken about the dynamics that are happening in this space now. And if you're not evolving as a body of HR, there's a way that change deals with that, and it's not good. So I would say, I would recommend that we take it serious also to improve and continuously, improve ourselves. That is in the reskilling and skilling and whatever it is that you need to be able to meet the ever challenging space that you're going to meet moving forward. And get interested in the trends. Don't just be waiting to hear the trends from discussions. Get interested. Know the trends, predict the patterns, be the first one actually to talk about it in the boardroom. Be the first one to tell your executive team how things are going to look in 5 years to come. And that is going to create the interest in HR as a strategic partner in executing strategic directions moving forward. I would say those are my top actually recommendations I'll give people in this space of HR.
Wow, we've come to the end of the episode, and thank you very much, Damaris, for finding time and honoring our, our invitation to be here and talk to us about your whole journey. So, viewers, today we had invited Damaris Ndungwa, who is the executive director and lead strategist of Brew Concepts Africa, and she's an amazing lady. You should check her out, probably engage her, train and reskill your employees so that you can always have an enlightened and skilled workforce who can execute. Thank you very much. I don't know what you have as a parting shot.
I know I've said quite a number of things, but I'll just end it by saying a popular quote I like using. The greatest, the greatest enemy of great is good. The enemy of, and it's the biggest enemy of growth as well. So the greatest enemy of great is good.
Wow, wow.
Well, the reason I say this, most times you feel you're doing well, and well can mean a lot of things. We tend to have a landscaping kind of mindset. And that is the biggest enemy of great, because you're not going to achieve great when you sleep on the landscape of good. When you have good, it means you are at a bigger risk of going down. So don't be caught up in that maze of the greatest enemy of great. That's how I would end it.
Wow, thank you very much, Damaris. And I know we will invite you again, probably on a webinar, so that we can now have even a detailed conversation around some of these issues, because time was limited, but we could only do so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
And enjoy your evening.
Thanks very much. You too. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Pauline. Have a great evening.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.